Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and our next comic book recap and review. Today we're going way back in time. Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner, all popular and well-known members of the current Green Lantern Corps. However, they were not the first, and the first was both very different than what we've come to know, and in some ways, very similar. In July of 1940, Martin Nodell crafted a story in All-American Comics issue number 16 that would come to have long-lasting effects on the entire DC universe to this very day. Alan Scott, a structural engineer and owner of his own company, won a government bid to build a trestle bridge. And as he and his team were testing it by driving a train over the ravine, one of his employees mentions Decker, a rival CEO who lost the bid and may try to exact revenge. Scott, holding a seemingly innocuous green lantern, dismisses the concerns only to have an explosion in the next panel destroy the bridge and send the train into a canyon. All, except for Scott, perish in the explosion. His miraculous survival is accompanied by the lantern glowing green and then communicating with him. It puts him in a type of trance where it tells him its history. Long ago in ancient China, a meteor crashed near a village. It spewed green flame. It spoke. 3 times shall I flame green, first to bring death, second to bring life, third to bring power. A mystic named Chang took the flaming green material and crafted a lamp. The villagers were afraid of Chang's efforts and thought it would bring about evil to their world. And they were right. After the lamp was crafted, it flamed green for the first time, bringing death to all around it. The lamp was then lost to history, showing up next years later in America outside of an insane asylum. The guards, thinking it curious, brought it to a patient who had an affinity for lanterns and lamps. This patient recrafted it into a lantern and the second green flame appeared, bringing life to this patient, curing him of his mental illness. Eventually, this lantern found its way to Alan Scott, who included it on his trial train run. The sabotage triggered its third flame, bringing power to Scott. The flame spoke about how evil cannot stand to be in the light, to be exposed and pulled out of the shadows. The lantern continued to instruct him that he must use this new power to fight against evil, and that his own will and faith in himself would sustain this new energy. Lose that will and faith in himself, and he would lose his power. Scott, after surveying the destruction from the bridge collapse and train derailment, the death it had brought to his friends, went home to craft a ring from the lantern's metal. This would allow him to charge his power by placing the ring inside the lantern's flame. He found that his willpower gave him the power of flight, of mental acuity, that this willpower could manifest his thoughts. He made his way to Decker's residence. He was able to break the fourth dimension and move through solid objects, appearing in Decker's office with his thugs who were celebrating the successful sabotage of Scott's bridge and train. They tried to shoot Scott, but bullets bounced off of him. Knives folded like paper against his body. However, one thug clubbed him with a wooden baton, revealing that wood was Alan Scott's weakness. Scott got up. He did not have super strength or speed, but he was an accomplished martial artist and fighter. He quickly defeated the thugs and brought Decker to justice. Our last panel is that of Alan Scott in his new costume. The Green Lantern was born, and with it, the foundation of a comic book legacy was formed that would last for decades to come. And that's how it all began. What do you think? Are you a Green Lantern fan? An Alan Scott fan? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for listening from south of the border. I'm still your reluctant gringo. Salud and a huevo.